right, thanks Melinda for the introduction, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. So my name is Carrie Oliva. I am the Director of Web Development and Optimization here at Strathcom Media. I've been here for 5 great years, and I've got over 15 years of experience in the web design, development, and marketing game. So I've been around since before Google was even a search engine that everyone was using. My focus at Strathcom is on website optimization and user experience. I really work to make sure that you have badass websites that perform well on the design and the technical side. And today I am excited to introduce to you the Yoast plugin and how it's going to make SEO easy for you. So today we're going to cover the basics of the Yoast SEO plugin, and you're going to walk away with an understanding of why you should be using Yoast, how to use Yoast, some of the advanced SEO options that are available to use in the plugin. I'm going to give you some tips straight from the Strathcom SEO playbook with best practices that have been taken from our in-house copywriters and resident SEO experts. And as Melina said, we will also answer any questions that you might have about Yoast or SEO in general. So please feel free to type in your questions in that question box. Me and Melina will keep an eye on it, and we'll make sure that we answer your questions before the end of this webinar. So why does Strathcom use Yoast? It's simply because it is the gold standard of SEO tools available for the WordPress platform. It has over 57 million plugin downloads. It's active on over 4 million live sites. And it's simply the preferred SEO plugin of millions of users. Almost all SEO experts who run a WordPress blog or a WordPress-based website are using this plugin, and you can even go into their websites, do a search for Yoast, and you will see that they are writing about it and they recommend it as a tool to use. So what does this plugin do? What it does is it handles complicated technical code in the back end, and it makes it easier for search engines like Google to crawl and index your website's content. It takes the guesswork out of knowing what Google's newest algorithm update requires you to have, so that means you're going to be following best practices across the board. Yoast also has a handy tool that suggests improvements that can be made to your on-page SEO. So how do I use Yoast? I'm not going to sit here and show you a presentation about how to use it. I'm actually going to go right into the CMS and show you how this tool works. So let me just get my site ready here for you to go. All right, so I'm going to walk you through the Yoast plugin features in the back end. So I'm logged into a CMS site here, and I'm going to show you my page view, which you can easily get to when you're logged into your site. Just go into all pages. And as you can see here, Yoast affects all of your pages and your blog posts. When you're logged in, you get a quick view of your readability scores and your technical SEO scores. A quick note on what those colors mean. I know that I've gotten this question before. Green means that the page has been optimized using the SEO analysis tool. It doesn't mean that your page is not optimized for SEO. It means that somebody has gone in and used the tool. Orange or red means that the page has run through the SEO tool, or Yoast, and that it could be improved. So gray means tool hasn't been used yet, and that's really just to answer that burning question that I keep getting every now and then from dealers and some online marketing managers. So what we're going to do is, I'm actually going to walk you through the page creation process and how to actually optimize on the go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to create a new page right in CMS. Take a couple seconds for us to load it here. I promise you the CMS is not this slow. It's our internet and GoToWebinar sometimes mess with my computer, so I apologize. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create a page about detailing. And I'm just going to put in some content right into my page here. And now I want to see how I'm doing SEO-wise. So I put in my content, and I'm going to check and see how I'm doing. So to do that, I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to see my Yoast SEO tool. So this right here is the Yoast SEO editor. Like I said before, it's available on every page and post inside of your Strathcom CMS site. Now what the Yoast plugin does is it gives you a visual preview in real time of how your page is going to look inside of a search engine results page or a SERP in SEO terms. So to edit my listings, it's extremely easy. All I have to do is directly click on my listing here. As you can see here, I haven't done anything to my page. I literally created a new page and added in some content, but a very cool feature that our CMS has is that it will auto-populate your titles based on the name of your page and your dealership name. So what that means is that you will never publish a page on your StrathCom CMS site without without the very least some basic titles and descriptions. But as you can see here, I obviously could do a little bit more work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and optimize my meta title and description. So I'm just going to click on this box here. Perfect. And I can even go in and change the slug of my site, or my page, sorry. So the slug is the URL of your page. So maybe it's dynamically generated based off of the title that you have put at the very top of your page. But if you want to customize that even more, you can literally go in here. Maybe I just want to say that this detailing package is available in Edmonton. And I can change the URL right in the tool itself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit my meta description. And so as you can see here, there are indicators under the title and meta description fields that show you how optimized these sections are. So green means good, orange means that you could do a little bit more work on it to optimize it more. So I'm just going to go in and optimize this a bit more and get that to green. So once you've optimized your meta title and description, you can enter in a focus keyword. So I'm going to close my snippet editor here and just show you this focus keyword section right here. So what this does is it checks for the presence of your focus keyword in the title of your page, in your headings, in the URL, and your content, and even the alt tags of images that you have in your page. So this analysis tool is going to calculate the number of words and the density of usage of the density of the usage of your focus keyword. And you don't want to focus only on keyword density. That's a dated practice. But what you do want to use this tool for is to ensure that you're still focusing content relevant to your keyword. And a very cool thing that this plugin does is that in the back end, it checks whether you're using the same focus keyword on other pages of your site. And that means you're not competing with yourself for rankings on Google. So it's very easy to improve your Yoast SEO score. As you can see here, I've got 3 greens and a couple reds. I haven't even done any analysis here, and it gives me some tips that I could do. Obviously, the first tip is put in a keyword that I want to focus on. This is a detailing page, and I want to focus on that. All right. So now I've got a bunch of greens, a couple oranges, and 2 reds. And so when I want to make these reds into greens, I can do it without having to make any updates and publishing the page and stuff like that. I can do it on the fly and have this dynamically change as I make changes. So the first change here, focus keyword doesn't appear in the first paragraph of the copy. So you want to make sure that your topic is clear immediately. That's my bad. I got really excited about talking about how Volkswagens are awesome. And the second paragraph here talks about my detailing packages that I'm offering. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move that second paragraph up to the top. And I'm going to scroll down, and those 2 reds that I had in my list will now turn to 1. So I now got another green. So it's really just as simple as that to change my score. Another improvement that could be made are there are no internal links that appear in the page. So again, my bad. I want to offer a detailing package, and I obviously want people to come to my website, and I want them to book an appointment. And I even have that in my text here, and the CMS makes it easy for you to add links. I'm going to highlight that section that I want to add a link to. I'm going to get them to go to my book a service form. And scroll back down. As you can see here, I have all greens. So a quick thing to kind of note is that having all greens or having reds or having oranges is not going to cause your SEO to go down on the page. You're not going to get penalized from Google. These are suggestions. And as you can see here, I have some oranges, but my overall score on my publisher card right over here says that I'm good. So you know what? I'm happy with the keyword optimization that I've done. So some other tools that are available for you within the Yoast SEO editor is the ability to check your readability score. So this gives you insight into how user-friendly your content is. And by what I mean by that is, you know, how long are your paragraphs, how technical are your explanations of things. You want to make sure that you're increasing the chance of website visitors for reading through your content. You want them to scroll down, you want them to interact with your site, so you want to make sure that your content is user-friendly, and this is a good tool to kind of go through, and it's a good practice for if you're writing your own content for your site. So another very cool tool that we have available in the plugin, this is a little bit more advanced, but we have the ability to change the visibility of your page on Google. So I'm going to go right into here, the Advanced tab, and click on that. So in the past, you used to have to edit multiple files to change the way your page talks to the search engine robots that crawl your site. So that used to be called your robots.txt and sometimes even your .htaccess files. You probably have never touched those. You probably have had you know, some technical people doing that for you in the back end, but this tool kind of empowers you to do it for yourself. And now you can easily hide a page from Google. And I know this is a webinar about SEO and we want to improve your rankings, but sometimes it is necessary to hide pages from Google. It might be an internal page that has content that could be duplicated for somewhere else that you don't want to be penalized for. Maybe it's a page that you're just sharing between you and other people in the dealership, or even a promotion or a private sale that you want to hide. And so this page makes it very easy for you to do. All you have to do is say, Google, I don't want you to index this page, and do not follow this page if it's linked from if it's referenced anywhere else on my site or on other sites. So that's just a very easy way to hide a page from Google. It's also a great way if you're running your own PPC campaigns and you have landing pages and you only want them to show as a direct destination point for people who follow your display ads or anything like that. So this is just kind of an extra tool that you have available for you. So another cool feature that we have is the social data editor. So what you can do is you can customize how your page will look like when you share a link on social media networks like Facebook or Twitter. So how does this affect your search rankings? It doesn't necessarily do that, but it increases the chances that people are going to click on your links when you share them from Facebook or Twitter. So what I'm talking about is when I copy and paste the link into my Facebook feed, you get a little snippet that shows up with the title, a little description, and an image, and you can use this tool to customize it directly for that. So by default, what it'll do is it'll pull your meta title and your description, but you know, you can get very granular with how this is going to appear. So I know that our page says that we have affordable detailing packages in Edmonton, Alberta, and that's what we want Google to display it as, but maybe I want it to show up as the best detailing service in Edmonton. Now Google is not going to pick this up, but when you share this on Facebook, it's just a great way to kind of get people to engage with your social posts. So again, you can update your descriptions and you can update the image. You can even add in a sale image that only shows up when you're sharing a post on Facebook or Twitter, and Google's not going to pick that up. That's just a great way to get more traffic to your site. Like I said before, it's not important to get all greens. As you can see here, even if I just want to stress that to everyone. I know that it's kind of been a topic of discussion, a topic of debate around dealers, and they just want to know what this tool does, and what it does is that it just empowers you to use some of the on-page SEO techniques that have always been a little bit fuzzy or unclear, and what that does is that your pages are going to rank better because Google will be able to crawl your sites better.
I got questions.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, sorry guys, I was just flagging Carrie down to let her know that we have questions that came in. So
Some of the ones that we've got in here right now is, so Carrie showed us how to build out meta titles and meta descriptions, but do my meta titles and meta descriptions affect the ranking of that particular page?
Yes and no. So meta titles do serve as a ranking signal to search engines. Meta descriptions don't. But you do want to optimize your meta titles and descriptions because those are the things that flag people to kind of click on your listing. And when people click on your search engine listing and they go into your site, that's really what tells Google that this page should rank higher.
Okay, cool. And then the next question that we've got is, so why is it important to include my location in the title if Google supposedly knows where I am already?
And that's a great question. So yes, Google is smart enough to know where you're searching from, and they're also smart enough to know where my dealership is located. And that's great for listing out pages on Google, but what putting in your title, or sorry, putting in your city in your descriptions and titles does is that it increases the chances of somebody clicking on your listing. So what I mean by that is, let's say I am looking for detailing packages in Edmonton. That's my Google search. What that's going to do is that when you see your listings in Google, you're going to kind of see here, if I had changed this to Edmonton, like you'd get a bold in that search listing. So it kind of flags users to see that. So you want to be very visible and you want to be easy to find. So if I was Melina and I wanted to look for something in Edmonton, I'm probably going to be more inclined to click on links that say that a dealership is located in Edmonton, because Google knows where you are, but I, the consumer, don't always know where these other dealerships are and if they're even located in the general area.
Perfect. Okay, I think that answers the question pretty succinctly. So the next one that we've got up here is, so Carrie, if this tool doesn't necessarily help you rank any better or worse, because just because it's green doesn't mean you're gonna, or sorry, just because it hasn't been used doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna get penalized, then why should I be using it in the first place?
That's a good question. I know that it may seem like a little bit of tedious work, but what doing this, like doing the legwork kind of does, it's like I'm preparing for the big game. If you don't do your practice, if you don't, if you don't take care of the things in the back end, you're kind of just stuck where you're at right now. And the difference that this makes is if your competitors are doing this in the back end, your rankings won't necessarily go lower, but they're going to rank higher than you because they've made their pages and their websites more visible to Google or to any other search engine. So that can really be the difference between being on the first page in the top position or ranking on the third page.
Kind of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last one that we got for this section was, so if you didn't fix everything in the list here of greens, oranges, and reds. So if we don't fix everything, how do we know which items are the ones we should work on fixing in order to get that good at the side versus which ones really aren't, I guess, deal breakers?
Mm-hmm. So I would say that the most important thing, and the thing that kind of is displayed to you in the very beginning of when you look at the tool, is your meta titles and descriptions, because that is the most visible thing to users when they are searching for anything related to your dealership. So I would say that if you don't optimize your meta titles and your descriptions, you're probably doing yourself a disservice because you're making your pages a lot harder to find.
Awesome. Okay, if there are no more questions, because I don't have any more in the box, everybody's good? I got a yes. All right, so everybody's good.
All right.
Okay, we'll carry on.
All right, perfect. So now that I've walked you through the tool and we've also had some questions come in, I'm going to give you a couple tips that have been taken straight from the Strathcom SEO playbook. So these are Strathcom's SEO best practices. Number one, and we touched on this a couple times in the questions that just came up, is write your titles and your meta descriptions, because these are the gateway from Google to your website. Now, I know that our system will auto-generate them for you every single time you create a new page, but optimizing these two things to be relevant to your content can be a huge game changer. Think of your SERP listings as your website's billboard on Google. This is how you're advertising your pages, and this is how you're advertising your content. You don't want to leave those things up to chance, because even though our system may dynamically generate them, Google might think that those things aren't relevant to the content you have on your page, and they might randomly choose things. We've had incidences where dealers have gone in and created new pages, and they didn't really care about the meta titles and descriptions, and what happened is that the listings on Google showed something completely different and irrelevant to their website. Melina might remember some of this stuff. And so, yeah, you don't want to leave those things up to chance, and Yoast really ensures that it's easy for you to optimize them. And, you know, if you don't want to do them, our online marketing managers will make sure that somebody here at Strathcom will take care of that for you. All right, tip number 2, use the SEO analysis tool. When you want to take charge of your SEO, but you don't have enough time to learn the latest SEO techniques, or maybe you just don't care to, the analysis tool is your best friend. It suggests things that will help Google read and access your website. And when you help Google, Google helps you. And like I said, don't stress if you can't make every dot green on every single page. They're not requirements, they're suggestions. They're not the catch-all for every single SEO use case, and some pages that you make might not need all greens. And the third and most important rule, optimize for robots, write for humans. Yoast gives you insight into your technical SEO implementation, but having perfectly written metas and greens across the board are not going to guarantee you a top spot when people are searching for the keywords that you want to rank for. What you want to do is you want to write fresh and relevant content for your website visitors, because their interactions with your websites are the most, they are the biggest ranking signals to search engines. So your things like bounce rates, time on page, and other pages viewed, that's what matters to Google. User experience is a key factor in search engine optimization. So remember, write fresh content for the people that you want visiting your website and coming into the dealership. So so those are the 3 cardinal rules at Strathcom. I'm going to open up the webinar. Are there any more questions that anyone has?
Yes, we have lots.
Perfect.
Hold on a sec. I'm gonna open up the box really big instead, so I can read them all instead of trying to scroll through. Question box. Expand. Okay, so the first one that I got here is, if I pay for a website and expect the SEO to be done by Strathcom, then why isn't Strathcom going to optimize my metas for me?
That is a great question. So when you sign a website with Strathcom, you are signing for our team to go in and optimize your pages for you. So you don't have to worry about us writing pages that are not optimized for search. We do that for you. What this tool and what we're showing you today is simply for those people who want to do it themselves. Maybe you want to create a page and you don't necessarily need Strathcom to do it for you. These are the tools that you can use to optimize your SEO. But don't worry, we are handling the SEO for you.
Okay, perfect. Next one that somebody's got in here. So, okay, I guess we can make it broader, but so they're asking, like, if I'm a dealership and I'm located in Calgary, how can I ensure that my pages rank for customers also in the cities outside of, so they're asking about Okotoks and other things like that. So I guess as a broader question, if I'm located in a major city, how can I ensure that my pages rank for customers in the metro area? And I guess the same would apply for dealerships that are located in the metro area and want to rank for inside the big city. So how do we do that?
All right, that's a great question. So Google kind of does that for you. Google is, the algorithms are smart enough to know where dealerships are located and what people are searching for in the general vicinity. But what you want to make sure is that Google knows where your dealership is, so make sure that you are mentioning your location. And if you do want to, go after certain areas outside of the city that you're in, you could create new landing pages that kind of say you offer those services. But I would say that really just optimize your pages for your location, and Google will do the rest for you. So, and another thing is that users are smart enough to know what cities are near them. So a city just a little bit outside of Edmonton is something called Sherwood Park. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but if I was a customer who was looking for, I'm going to use detailing because I just made a detailing page, but if I'm looking for detailing services, I know that Sherwood Park is a smaller city, and I might not just have Sherwood Park dealerships as the options for me to search. But if I was to search for detailing services in Sherwood Park, I probably will get a broader search outside of Sherwood Park, just based on the location of my search. So Google will pull up listings for Edmonton, and as somebody from Sherwood Park, if I see that, hey, there is a great service just 10 minutes away from me in Edmonton, I'm probably going to go there. But if I don't know that a dealership is in Edmonton, I may ignore that search.
Okay, I think that helps answer the question. Did we get it? I have a yes. All right.
Perfect.
The next one that we've got in here is, what can you tell me about cornerstone content, and what part of a dealer site would be ideal to classify as cornerstone?
That's a great question. So cornerstone content is content that you really want to have kind of like great page authority for. So Yoast, it's a new option that was introduced to Yoast. I would say like in the last year. So they're still kind of showing people what this does. But what cornerstone content is, and what the types of content that you want to focus on would be the pages that you want people to visit. So your vehicle landing pages, maybe you want to have people really come in because you have the best Ford store in the city, and you really want to showcase that. So what you'll do is you'll create that main Ford landing page, and you're going to say this is cornerstone content. And what you're going to do is you're also going to create more landing pages about that, because obviously you want to stay fresh and you want to add more content to your site, so you stay as a page authority for that. And you're going to link those pages to that main article. So that's really kind of what's important. So it's the same with service departments. Your service department will be your cornerstone content, and all of the sub pages you make for service will be related to that main article. Hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, we did the same question.
Perfect.
The same person asked us a follow-up question. So how many cornerstone pages are too many cornerstone pages?
I would say that all pages should not be cornerstone, but just think about what you focus on in the dealership. You have your main departments, and that's probably what you want to think of when you're doing your website. So your staff probably shouldn't be a cornerstone article. You probably don't have people coming into the dealership and asking about staff every single day, and trying to figure out who works where and all of that stuff. But you do have people coming into the dealership asking you, where can I get my service? What kinds of vehicles are the best, and stuff like that. So that's what you really want to focus on, is the main questions that people are asking you in the dealership. And on the flip side, if you want to go and dig into the data, or have one of your online marketing managers do that for you, you can go into your analytics and you can see the pages that are most visited, and those should be the pages that you focus on. So kind of think of your top 10 landing pages and make those cornerstone content, and know your homepage shouldn't be cornerstone content, because that should be a broad topic.
Cool. All right. The next one that we've got in here is, so how often or how much time should I be spending using this tool or re-editing SEO for my pages on my website?
Great question. I would say that when you're using this tool, if you're spending hours and hours on one page, you're probably using it a little bit too much. So you don't have to be, I know it seems like it's tedious, but as you can see how easy it was to go in and edit my content to kind of get my page to green, it really only takes 5 to 10 minutes to optimize your SEO. And when you've already published that page, you don't necessarily have to go in and update it every 2 days. Google typically crawls your site a couple times a month, and what I do suggest is that you check the performance of your site before you go in and change your SEO. So again, check your analytics, see if there's any drops on any pages or if you're getting any increases on any page traffic. And if you see a drop, it might be time for you to go in and do some editing. And on the flip side, you do want to be making new content. You want to be, you want Google to be crawling your site often. So creating fresh content does that for it kind of encourages Google to crawl your site more because it says, oh, hey, they're publishing pages, every other week or every month. So we should be checking this site more, and that could really help boost your rankings. And we have great packages here at Strathcom, content creation packages, where we will create blog posts for you that will really help increase your search visibility. And you can definitely contact us or your marketing manager about those products that we have available for you to write content. And so you don't have to worry about creating content every single month. We handle that for you.
Yeah, we've got blogs and landing pages.
But yes, blogs and landing pages. Those are great.
Okay. The next question, I think that's a follow-up to this one because it's the same person, is, so how often should I be adding new pages or blogs to my site?
It's a great question. There is no rule for it. I would say at the very least, update your site once a year because your model years are going to change. But it's really just a matter of preference. What you do want to make sure is that your site is up to date. So make sure that your staff is updated. Make sure your hours of operation and any phone numbers are updated. And make sure that your model landing pages are updated to the current year. But really, there's no kind of magic number that I could give you. I wish I could. I wish I could talk to Google and ask them how much content I should be creating. But really, just as long as you're staying up to date with what's going on at the dealership, then you are in pretty good shape.
Okay. And the last one is that is it better to update the model year for that vehicle model, or is it so if I'm trying to read how this is worded. Okay. if you've got vehicle model pages, I'm just rereading this because they wrote a big block of text. So if you've got vehicle landing pages and it's specific to a model year, should you just update the model year on that page, or should you create a new page for the next year's model?
All right, that's a great question. And we've definitely had some back and forth between the teams to figure out if we should be retiring landing pages or just updating existing ones. And Google has kind of spoken for us. So you don't want to have outdated landing pages on your site. You don't want to have, a landing page about the 2013 Honda CR-V because people probably aren't searching for landing pages or information for that anymore. They're probably just looking for used inventory. So I do believe that it's a great idea for you to take an existing landing page and update it for the model year. Now, I'm not saying wipe all of the existing content on there, but what you could do is you could summarize the previous year's content and have some call to action links that'll take you to used inventory. And then on top of that, add in information about the new model year, what's been updated, and then link to new inventory. And so what that does is that it gives that page authority over that model for both new and used inventory. So you're killing two birds with one stone. You're creating fresh content and keeping your site up to date.
Cool. And sorry, the person who asked another question before has a follow-up question to adding new content on the site. Okay, so this person appears to be new to their dealership. So it looks like the dealership used to do lots of blogging and everything like that, and then they stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked before about how often they should be adding new content to the site. So how often should they be going, if they want to start doing it again, like how frequently do they need to do it to be able to kind of make up for the lost time?
I would say that you probably should. Oh, that's a great question. You don't have to play catch up and post, 5 blogs every day just to make sure that you're catching up because you stopped blogging a year ago. What I would say is be consistent with your blogging. So, a blog post every week or every other week is sufficient to get Google to start re-crawling your blog. But a great tip to have would be if you have outdated content on your blog, update that content or create new blogs referencing that old content. And that way, you don't lose any of the already created link juice that you have on those pages and that authority that you have on those pages. So you're just rebuilding on existing content. So don't worry, you haven't lost any page authority or any SEO. All you have to do is just, get a little bit, do a little bit of work and a little bit of groundwork to update old content and just make sure that you're trying to be consistent. But yeah, you don't have to be spammy, and you don't have to think that you have to put out a blog post every single day, because you're probably going to run out of topics very soon.
Yeah, and probably overwhelm anybody that's actually trying to keep up on your blog and read it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, awesome. So, does anybody else have any more questions? That was the last one on my list, and it doesn't look like I have any more. So we're going to thank Carrie thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Carrie, for joining us today and kind of helping go over lots of everything here. It appears that Carrie is going to give you her email address, which is super sweet, because Carrie is very, very important here at Strathcom. So she would like you to contact her at carrie@strathcom.com if you have any further questions about SEO or Yoast. And I'm going to thank you for coming and joining us again. Just to remind you all, if you would like to be entered into the draw for the McDavid jersey with everybody else who's entered webinars, I see a lot of you have attended a couple times. Please make sure that you give us your first and last name and the dealership that you came from. And the recording will be sent out later today. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.